Welcome everybody back into Nerd Sesh. As always, I'm Carson Breber and alongside me is Logan Camden, and we hope that everybody who celebrates had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, though, the Thanksgiving football games weren't all that great, so we're not going to sit here and dedicate a full show to those games. Instead, we are going to be doing a classic trivia time episode today. Logan and I going head to head, but before we get into the format, before we get into all of that, Logan, how was your Thanksgiving?
Fantastic, man. I hadn't seen, it's kind of rare, I get the majority of my family together, and just with how long I've been out of state, I don't get to see them too often, so it was nice, man. Had a good time, ate some good food. My grandparents hooked it up. It was an excellent time, man. How was yours?
Mine was good. Mine was pretty low-key, but today my grandpa turns 90, so as long as he makes it to 3 p.m., we're doing a bigger thing today, so that'll be fun. Rooting for him.
Happy birthday, man.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy. Tennessee boy, actually. Southern boy. Shout out.
Shout out.
All right, so for those of you who don't know, this is going to be the format today. I have come up with 10 questions for Logan about the NFL. Logan has come up with 10 questions for me about the NBA. We are going to go back and forth, and whoever has the most correct answers at the end wins. Feels like it's pretty simple from there. So, Logan, with that, let's get it started. What's the first question you got for me?
Carson, the pinnacle in the NBA is the Larry O'Brien Trophy, the NBA Finals. Can you name every NBA champion that was the number one rated offense post-merger?
That's a really fun question. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to start with the most obvious ones in my mind, that being like the 1987 Lakers.
They are here.
The 2017 Warriors, certainly.
That is correct.
I want to say the 86 Celtics were the number one offense, but it's tough because the Lakers were number one most of those years throughout the 80s.
Boston wasn't the number one offense that year. I want to say they were either number two or number three. They were close.
They were definitely top three. They were top three like every year, but those Lakers offenses were crazy. Okay. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I kind of think the Celtics were the number one offense in 88. Were the Lakers the number one offense that year?
Celtics were not the number one offense.
Right, but the Lakers won the title. Were the Lakers in 88 the number one offense?
They were number two. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think the Celtics were.
That's what I thought, because I think that was actually statistically their best offense ever. All right. I know that this was another elite offense. I'm not sure if they were number one. I don't think the 83 Sixers were number one, were they?
They weren't. I will encourage you to maybe go back to the well.
Maybe go back to the well. Oh, okay. Let's see. 1980 Lakers?
Correct.
1982 Lakers?
Not 82.
1985 Lakers?
Bang. So you have all the Lakers teams. You have just four more teams in three of the, or excuse me, you have five more teams. Four of them are a part of a dynasty.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, first of all, I'm pretty sure the 2000 Lakers were the number one offense.
They weren't, actually. That surprised me.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure they were number two, so that's a really good guess.
Okay, well, so let's think. The 96 Bulls.
Correct.
The 91 Bulls.
Correct.
The 93 Bulls.
Not 93.
The 97 Bulls.
Correct. And split the difference.
The 92 Bulls.
Correct. So you just have one team remaining, and I'm kind of surprised. I thought they were going to be the first team that you guessed.
You thought they were going to be the first team?
Yeah. They probably would have been the first team that I ripped.
Oh, that's super interesting.
Actually, I don't know. I might have ripped the Warriors first because, 2017 sticks out. But this team, it makes sense.
So I'm scrolling through. I don't think that we have the 2009 or 2010 Lakers. I don't think it's the 2013 Heat, is it?
Not the 2013 Heat. That's not a bad guess either. I think they were number two or number three. They were number two.
Yeah, okay. This is making me think that it's like super modern, but it's not the Bucks. It's not the Warriors. It's not the Nuggets. It is the Celtics last year.
It is the 24 Celtics.
See, that's still processing in my database. They've only been champions for 5 months. But yes, one of the greatest offenses ever. Sweet. That was a great question. That was fun. All right.
I got something a
Yes.
little similar to that too, man. Keep that in your back pocket.
Okay, I will. Well, Logan, I said that there really wasn't a ton to discuss from the Thanksgiving football games. However, there was one big storyline, that being the Chicago Bears very nearly beating the Lions. Caleb Williams and the offense was cooking in the second half until all of a sudden they couldn't manage the clock. 32 seconds left. They have one timeout, third down. They only get that final prayer playoff. They don't have an opportunity to kick a field goal. Definitely put some of that on Caleb. Also put some of that on Matt Eberflus, who now has been fired. So, Logan, with that in mind, can you name every head coach of the Chicago Bears since 2000?
Oh, wow. Let's give it a shot. The first guy I think of is Lovie Smith. Was there forever.
Correct.
When does Lovie take over?
Lovie is all the way 04 through 2012.
Is the guy before Lovie, is it Dennis Green?
It's not Dennis Green.
No, Dennis
I know
Green.
that you know this guy.
Let's see. The next guy. Well,
His
obviously,
first name is one of your favorite things.
Obviously, Matt Eberflus.
Correct.
This guy wants me to guess Dick Duran.
Yes, that's correct.
Thanks, bro.
You're welcome.
Bro, what was the... Is it like Mark Trestman, man? What was that bums?
Yeah.
Is that him?
That's exactly right. Trestman, 13-14. So now you just have the two coaches between Trestman and Eberflus.
Yeah, who were those bums? It was the one guy with Mitch Trubisky. Matt Nagy. And then, is it another Matt?
No, this guy actually a really good coach, but did not have good years with the Bears.
Is he still coaching?
No, he's not still coaching. He was old. This was his last stop, but he was coming off of more successful stop, much more successful, and went to two Super Bowls as a coach, actually. Lost them both, though, in his career.
Let me sit with this for a second. I
think I know what Bears fans are thankful for, Logan. Matt Eberflus's head on a pike, am I right?
Dude, that literally... I don't know. Were you watching the game with your family when that was going on?
I was.
Bro, that caused an uproar in my house. Like, all the non-football people were kind of like, what the hell is going on? And then all the fellows were sitting in the den screaming at the TV.
It was horrifying.
That's some of the worst clock management I've ever seen to end a game. It's just inexcusable that they lost like that.
Bears ass loss, dude. Unbelievable.
Yeah, the most Bears loss of all time. What were the years for this guy, if you don't mind?
15 to 17 between Trestman and Nagy.
Jay Cutler's the quarterback here, right?
Yeah, I think for some of this time. Was he all the way through 2017? He was 2015-16, yeah.
And he went to 2 Super Bowls.
Came from an AFC team that actually would find a little more success even after he left. They were very successful with him, but then they really got the job done after he left. This guy only coached for 3 teams in his career, actually, and Chicago was the most short-lived stint.
I'm just thinking about freaking Jeff Fisher right now, bro. I need to get off Jeff Fisher.
Interestingly, same initials. Same initials.
What?
And they share the fact that an animal name is featured in their last name. You know this guy. Take a deep breath. Center yourself. Body, mind, spirit. And find it within you. Is it in you?
Is it in you? John...
Oh, it's a layup from here.
I mean, I just said John because John's like the most basic-ass first name you can have.
Yeah, and you nailed it.
John Fox. It's John Fox.
Yeah, there we go. John Fox.
Wow, I kind of forgot that John Fox went to Chicago.
He
very
won
small
14 games there in 3 years, so very forgettable.
Yeah, not that successful.
Go Bears.
I'm praying for you. Well, you guys at least have Caleb, and hopefully they're a brighter days ahead. These last 2 weeks from Caleb, the one thing I will say for Bears fans have been outstanding football from him, man. Some franchise QB stuff.
He's a stud. He's a stud. It's so obvious that he's going to be so good, and everybody wanted to get their little takes off. Silly haters.
Once he settles down, because I'll say that he is a little inconsistent and inaccurate time to time, but like once he gets settled into games, he looks really, really comfortable.
Well, and also there is just some rookie situational stuff where it's like inopportune negative plays when you just can't take a sack, right? And like the clock management, I get it. He doesn't feel like he even has the authority to call a timeout there, it sounded like, and he is a rookie, and if you're the head coach, you have to be the one with the awareness to see, okay, things are spiraling here. This isn't a 30-year-old veteran who I can just trust to masterfully handle this. Like, I need to step in. But nevertheless, like, got to go with more tempo than they did there. So there's little stuff like that with Caleb, but that's not the stuff that you worry about long-term, especially when he's already led, like, several awesome clutch drives and clearly isn't, like, mentally afraid of the moment. It's just some little execution stuff, but dude's a stud.
I completely agree, man. All right, so we're going to do the inverse of the question that I just asked you, Carson. I need you to name every number one defense that won an NBA championship post-merger.
This is really fun. So my first thought here, no, I don't think the 77 Blazers were the number one defense. They were a great defense. I don't think they were number one. The 83 Sixers were absolutely a number one defense.
They actually weren't.
Or maybe they weren't. Okay.
Number 5. They were top 5 on both sides.
Okay. They had a great defensive playoff run. The 86 Celtics were the number one defense.
That is correct. They are here.
I don't know if we have any more Celtics teams in here. We're not going to have any Lakers teams. We are going to have a couple Bulls teams. We're going to have the 96 Bulls.
I'll tell you what, the 96 Bulls are the only iteration of the Bulls on here, yeah.
I thought 97 they might have been number one
and
as well.
That's what's something. You mentioned the playoff run with the Sixers, too. I think it's important, you know.
Right.
They may have been better in the playoffs, you know. Some teams just aren't as engaged for the entirety of the year.
Yeah, so, for example, Logan, correct me if I'm wrong, I am pretty sure that the 04 Pistons were second in defensive rating to the Spurs.
That's correct.
Their defensive rating after they traded for Sheed was like insanely low, but also the 04 Spurs are just one of the great defenses ever. Like both of them were complete outliers from the rest of the league. They were like 4 or 5 points better.
So what can you logically deduce from that?
Do we have the 03 Spurs here? Do we have the 99 Spurs will be here, yeah?
Well, 99 Spurs are here, and then...
Well, there's a lot of Spurs teams. The 05 Spurs?
The 05 Spurs.
Okay. Oh, and no, maybe they aren't. No, I think they are. The 2014 Spurs, were they not the number one defense?
Not the 2014 Spurs. I like that guess, though.
I think they might have been second. I think the 2016 Spurs I know were because Duncan retired on the number one defense. Which
2014 were number 3, and they actually weren't number 1 in 2015.
Oh, let me get the dubs.
Yeah.
The 2022 dubs were on that pace, but Draymond got hurt. Oh, did they end as the number one defense?
Yes,
I thought
they did, man.
2.
Those are both the dubs.
Go.
I think it's kind of poetic, too. Not that those defenses weren't great with KD, because I think that's the greatest basketball ever played, and those were great defenses. But I also find it kind of poetic and, I don't know, telling that, like, you give all this credit to Steph and them, too. And don't get me wrong, Steph's the best player on that team, but you don't get it done without Draymond either of those times.
No way, dude. More top 5 defenses than top 5 offenses in the Warriors' reign of dominance. Do not underestimate the impact of Draymond Green. So I'm thinking, were the 2013 Heat the number one defense?
They weren't. They were also top 5, I believe, and you're only missing 3 teams.
No.
2 of them post-2000, and then the biggest throwback on this list.
So the 2021 Bucks were not the number one defense that year, but they had been a couple years previous, and they were an amazing playoff defense. The 2020 Lakers, I think, were the number 2 defense. They were a great defense for sure, but not number 1, because I think the Bucks were the number 1 defense that year, actually. Celtics last year were not the number 1 defense. That was the Timberwolves, but Celtics were top 3. I'm thinking back, the 2019 Raptors, I think, were 5th in defensive rating, even though that was a great defense. Okay, well, super obvious all-time defense that I haven't said. The 08 Celtics were the number 1 defense.
They are the most modern team remaining on this list. So you
dominant defense.
One more.
I don't know. The 2000 Lakers were a great defense. They weren't number one, were they?
You're cooking. You're cooking,
Yeah,
man. So
that team was just ridiculous.
you've got both the modern teams. You have the biggest throwback on the list.
Remaining.
Yep. Well, just a period.
Yeah, okay, I haven't gotten the biggest throwback. Well,
They were the number 14 offense and the number 1 defense. Interestingly enough,
was it the 78 Bullets?
not the 78 Bullets. You're scorching hot though.
79 Sonics?
It is.
Yeah, that
and
was a great
what I think's
defense.
funny about that discrepancy is, despite them being 13th in difference between defense and offensive rating, it's only separated by 2.6 points.
Yeah, the age
But-
of parity, man.
Those are all the teams.
Let's freaking go. Logan, this is one of my favorite questions maybe that I've ever asked you. Can you name the 5 quarterbacks who earned the most money per passing yard in their career?
Wow, this is an awesome question. Sam Bradford.
Oh, he's top 10, but he's
Wow,
not in the top 5.
When I think of guys who made, well, I guess the other way to think about it too is just guys who never played. Chase Daniel's probably number 1, is he?
Logan, that is such a phenomenal pull. $24,686 per passing yard. He is number 1. Sam Bradford, great thought. He's just under 7,000.
So let me ask you this, if you don't mind giving it to me. Are most of these guys just
I'm not
career
gonna
backups?
Give it to you. No.
Okay.
Actually.
So, are there any active guys here? I mean, just because I guess the money.
Mm-hmm. There are. Yeah, well, you got to think all the money these days.
Dak
is just
Prescott?
crazier. Not Dak.
Just because Dak has made so much freaking money. But there's got to be a balance to be struck here between attempts and money. We do have active guys, and the active guys playing.
The active guys are not at this moment playing. Well, except for one, who is a very interesting inclusion on this list. Not like any of the other guys here. I don't really want to tell you why, but
Okay.
the passing is not the only thing he does.
It's Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill is number 2 on this list.
Wow.
$21,701 per passing yard.
Oh, Taysom Hill, you are
One of a kind.
really, man. He is one of a kind. There's never been a football player like him.
Yeah, Travis Hunter's just the Taysom Hill of college football. You seen that take? Wow. That was very convincing mouthing. I really expected noise to come out of your mouth.
And there's another. So I'm gonna take that and assume that the guy's hurt or something along those lines.
It's kind of funny to me that you guessed Dak before this guy.
Is it Daniel Jones?
No, not Danny Dimes.
Oh, that's what I thought you were trying to get me.
Mhm.
So overpaid Tua?
Not Tua.
I mean, I'm just trying to think about guys who got the bag recently. Burrow got it. Herbert got it.
Danny
else
Dimes
is
is a
gonna be?
really good thought.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence.
Not T-Law. Danny Dimes is another guy who's right in that $7,000 per yard range. You got to be at 9,641 to get on the list.
Is it Carson Wentz?
No, not Carson Wentz. I can't believe that you haven't said this guy. I'm not going to lie. Number 3. Just because when you think about bad contracts,
Deshaun.
Deshaun Watson is number 3.
That makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. Yeah.
$10,543 per passing yard.
Yeah. I don't know, man. At this point, I feel like I treat Deshaun like Karl Malone, man. He just doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's very honorable. It's an honorable stance to take.
I try to eliminate him from as much as possible.
But when
Two
you have
guys
an
remaining.
opportunity to bring him up in a bad stat
Yeah,
like this,
true.
you got to take it. You got to take it.
2 guys remaining, and they are not active. We've got all the active guys.
I did not say that.
He did not say that.
Don't you dare put words in my mouth.
Ooh. Other big bad contracts. I mean,
Yes. One big bad contract, one big bad football player.
One big bad contract. Who is it?
Mhm.
Russell Wilson?
Not Russ. He's done much too much good in his
Yeah,
career.
that contract's still pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. This guy, bad contract, both because he wasn't consistently available and he wasn't as good as some people wanted you to believe that he was.
Is it Jimmy Garoppolo?
Jimmy G. Logan, handsome as he is,
Mm.
number 4, $9,792 per passing yard.
And the last one is just a big bad football player.
You want to know what's crazy? You want to know who's just off this list? Lamar Jackson, $7,630 per passing yard. But that's just
because of the rushing volume, yeah.
Exactly. And also he gets paid an insane amount. And he missed some games.
So this guy is not that good, and he is not playing.
Not that good would be very generous. And this guy is not active, to be clear. He retired earlier than anybody else on this list. And not by choice. This guy was so bad that it was very early apparent that he was not going to cut it. But nevertheless, he got one decent contract because expectations for him were high.
Is it Jamarcus?
Jamarcus Russell is number 5 on this list, Logan.
Well, and you see, they changed the rookie wage scale because of guys like Jamarcus, because when quarterbacks would get drafted that early on, you would get, it was not uncommon to get a 6 or 7 year deal worth north of $100 million. So it was almost like an anvil strapped to like your
balls.
Yeah, I mean, you're just getting dragged down by, if you miss. Like, I remember Robert Gallery always had, and he turned out to be a decent player for Oakland, but it's like if you missed on your first-round pick, not only did you get a bad football player, you just got, handcuffed to that bad contract. And then I think when Bradford or Cam Newton came in, they changed the rookie wage scale, and they balanced it out. But that was a mammoth contract.
Poor Raiders.
Awesome question, Carson. And speaking of lowlights, bad awards... some would argue it's more valuable than the Larry O'Brien. What I'm alluding to here is the Shaqtin a Fool MVP. Carson, I need you to name every single Shaqtin a Fool MVP ever.
Wow. I mean, JaVale's got to have 5 or 6, right?
He's only got 2, and believe it or not, he's not the all-time leader. There's another guy that has
nonsense.
3.
Bro, that is like... I want to blame voter fatigue, but if they gave somebody else 3, I think that's Shaq hates JaVale so much that he wants to mock him relentlessly, but he doesn't even want to give him a made-up award. And that's sad. Lance Stevenson, here?
Yes, Lance did win it.
Brandon Knight, I presume, is here.
Wow. Man, that year was an all-timer. You had the blown layup at the end of the Nets-Bucks game. I was watching that live. That crushed me. Just because that's such a bad low light. The DeAndre Jordan dunk. Mm-hmm. And did he get broken? Was it by Kyrie Irving?
I think those might have been different years. Because he was a Piston when he got dunked on by
That's
Jordan.
True. That is true. And the Rising Stars game where he got broke, he was a Piston too.
But I think that was the same year. Well, I'm not totally sure about that. But anyways, he's got some great low lights.
That's a good shout.
He's not here. I don't know about this one. But he's a dude who attempts some things that he shouldn't. Has Andre Drummond gotten a sneaky nod in recent years?
Andre Drummond.
Because he'll love to put up a 3 that is just 9 or 10 feet off.
Won it in 2023. And in 2015, Brandon Knight won worst fast break. He won worst pass. And he also got a Lifetime Achievement Award.
That's a sweep. That's the everything ever all at once of Shaqtin a Fool. So who else is just a bumbling embarrassment out there on the court? Who's a low-light machine? I don't know about this because this is a great player. Do we by any chance have like James Harden here for just no defensive effort?
James Harden in 2016 was the first All-Star ever to win the award.
This is awesome. I love that they have this logged somewhere. How many more winners do we have? How many winners are there in Shaqtin a Fool history?
You've got 5 more. And some accomplished players. Some not so, but some accomplished players, man. Some big-time award winners. You actually have I won't give you that. I'll let you see if you want to cook up anymore. But I do have some
Okay.
hints. These are accomplished guys.
This guy isn't a bad basketball player at all, but he has been sort of a league laughingstock meme. Do we by any chance get Kyle Kuzma here?
Not Kuz. You actually have a teammate of Kyle Kuzma's though, and it makes sense.
D'Lo?
No, an active teammate.
Oh, Jordan Poole. Last year, Jordan Poole must have won.
Jordan Poole was the winner.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That
Carson,
makes a lot
you're
of
still
sense.
missing the three-time guy. This guy won it in 2017, 2021, and 2022. And get this, he did it all on 3 different teams.
He won which years? Can you repeat that?
2017, 2021, and 2022.
Wow. On 3 different teams.
I think you'd be pleased.
Russell Westbrook?
It's Russ.
Yeah, that's a pretty good choice. He's got
Russ
some
is-
real what the fuck moments.
Russ is not the only MVP to win the award, but he is the only one to win the MVP and the Shaqtin a Fool MVP in the same year.
That is awesome.
But you do have
He's
one
not the
more
only
MVP
one, 'cause
winner on this
Harden won
list.
MVP. We have one more.
You do.
So that's really interesting. Could it be that it's Giannis for some like jumpers and
It's not Giannis.
lack of skill?
This one
moments?
I'm also pretty pleased that he's here.
This is another individual who you don't much care for.
I'm not. These people are kind of souring on him across the league now.
Joel Embiid.
It's Joel Embiid. Yeah, he
Makes
won
sense.
it in 2018. It was the closest race of all time up to that point between him and LeBron of all people. So
I was thinking about LeBron because I don't know, just some low effort moments with him.
Mhm.
If they count sideline shenanigans, if they count off the court, him, saying that he saw Kobe's 81-point game coming. He's got quite the resume.
You're missing 2 guys who won it in back-to-back seasons, 2014 and 2015. 2014 makes a whole lot of sense. This guy won the midseason award for worst layup that season that he won it. And I believe both of these guys are NBA champions, Carson. I think they both are one-time NBA champs.
Wow. Okay, 2014 and 2015. Oh, JR. Does JR get here?
Not JR. That's a very good guess, though.
It's a little early, I feel like, for his Shaqtin a Fool case. But we have NBA champions here.
J.R. Smith, winner of Worst Moment in 2017 when he hugged Jason Terry mid-play.
Was he not winner of Worst Moment in 2018? Is
I
it only
had
a
to-
regular season award, or do they include the
I'm
playoffs?
scrolling down right now. I gotta think.
Because he definitely had the worst moment of 2018.
I
when
think
he
they
did
do
not
it-
put the shot up in game 1 of the
I
finals.
think they do it mid-season,
Okay,
but
fair.
that's an all-timer.
That's an all-time gaff. Worst layup. Oh. Who did I just remember having a terrible layup attempt? No, you said that they're NBA champions. Eric Gordon. This was last year. Eric Gordon had one of the worst missed layups I've ever seen. But we're looking 2014 and 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Future champions. I'm
And
presuming sort of role players. I guess you
one
didn't
of
say
the-
future champions.
One of these guys won a ring prior to winning this award.
Okay, there you go.
And then he was a starter. And then the other guy won the award afterwards, both for historic NBA franchises, though.
I don't know if this is right. I've been thinking this dude for a minute. Is Rondo here?
Not Rondo, but you have identified a teammate of this guy. Makes a whole
Perk?
lot of sense. Makes a whole lot of sense, Carson. Or did you say Perk?
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Perk. Sorry, I
Yeah,
thought you
Big
said I
Perk.
thought you said Dirk. Perk
No,
Perk
no.
is here.
Yeah.
And then the next
that does
guy,
makes sense.
a rotation guy for an NBA champ, another storied franchise.
So that obviously makes me think the 2020 Lakers. I mean, there's no chance it's like KCP.
Not
KCP
necessarily.
went
It's not the Lakers.
down. Okay, could be a Warriors team then. I don't know. Brandon Rush?
No, remember this guy was a rotation guy for you guys. Brandon Rush.
I hope it's not the great Mo Spates.
It's not. It's on the later. It's on the most recent champion for the Warriors.
Oh. But this was all the way back in 2015. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
rookie Andrew Wiggins. No. It's not like Otto Porter Jr., is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Otto Porter Jr. in 2015 took home the award.
Wow. That seems personal. I don't remember Otto really. I guess he sort of had the goofy goggles, but I don't know. That seems harsh. All right, Logan. We're going to go positive here. Can you name me the 10 quarterbacks with the most passing yards after turning 30?
Yeah, the first guy that I think of, one, because he played so long, but also because he started late. I'm going to guess Warren Moon.
Warren Moon is number 4. He's over 40,000.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is number 1. You wouldn't even believe it, Logan. How many yards do you think he has after turning 30?
50,000.
68,000 almost. He only had like 22,000 before turning 30.
I mean, everybody always says it, dude. He literally had 3 Hall of Fame careers in one. It's ridiculous.
It's insane. It's insane.
Drew Brees.
Drew
I would
Brees
assume.
is number 2. He's the only other member of the 50,000 club.
And then is Peyton Manning here?
Number 6, 38,000.
I'll rip Brett Favre.
Number 3, still 10,000 yards behind Brees, who is 13,500 behind Brady.
And I'm going to guess Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, number 7.
I want to rip. I'm going to do it. I'm iffy about these guys.
Okay.
Phillip Rivers.
Cook, number 5. You're the top 7.
Okay, then what about Matt Ryan?
Number 9.
Okay, is Big Ben here?
Number 8. Can he get it perfect?
We're just missing number 10.
Just missing number 10. No misses, Logan. Legacy performance here,
This
potentially.
This would be big for morale.
This would be big for white people everywhere. Everybody's looking to you, bucko.
After 30.
Probably the toughest name on the list, in my opinion.
A big part of me wants to rip Kirk Cousins right now. Kirk O'Chains. Toughest name on the list. You know what?
Not to say that he's like crazy tough, just I would say tougher than the others probably, but don't
All right.
overthink that.
Okay, that made me. That was not going to be a good guess.
Yeah, don't overthink it.
I was going to jump to Dave Krieg real quick.
Oh, no. Settle down.
Okay.
No.
Affirmative.
And by the
You know
way, that's
what?
pronounced Craig.
Matt Stafford.
Number 20, Matt Stafford.
I'm just thinking about guys who, just at least were just prolific, 4,000, 5,000 yards.
This guy played a whole lot of games in his career. He did. Maybe like an underrated amount of games.
Okay. Well, that kind of eliminates Vinny just because.
Vinny's number 11.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And by the way, Kirk's number 15, so you've only thrown out good thoughts.
An underrated amount of games. Is it?
Maybe underrated. There was a big deal for a while about a streak this guy had going, but I feel like that's kind of been forgotten now, maybe.
I don't think it's going to be right either. Is it Carson Palmer?
Damn, that's close too. Carson Palmer is number 14.
Underrated.
A lot of good thoughts. Same era as Carson Palmer. This guy played 131 games after turning 30. Tom Brady played 239 games after turning 30. That's just insane.
Big time football guy.
502 passing touchdowns after turning 30 for Brady. What the fuck?
Is it? Man, no, I don't think he would have started enough. That was not going to be a good guess. I was going to rip Ryan Fitzpatrick, but he just wouldn't have played enough. Because, like, if Stafford's not here, if Palmer's not here, he's not going to be.
Yeah, I think this guy has more passing yards after turning 30 than Fitzpatrick does in his career. It's at least very close. This guy's over 34,000. Wow. No, Fitz actually has this guy, but he has him by 500 yards. 600 yards.
All right, I'm going to get this.
This dude has something very much in common with 2 of the other players on this list. And something even more in common with 1 of the other players on this list. I know that that's vague and that may not help you.
Is it Bledsoe?
It's not Bledsoe. But if you're thinking what I think you're thinking, then this guy has that in common as well, that being number 1 pick.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Smith?
No, not Alex Smith. Logan, I'll remind you about the streak that I referred to. This guy did not miss a game.
Eli?
Eli Manning is here, number 10.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, Eli did stick around. You don't remember those older years as much. He was just hucking that thing up to Odell.
And to the other team very often. Lots of picks in those later years.
That's a good one, man. All right. Really simple. 4 names. Can you name all 4 players, Carson, that have won the finals with 3 different franchises?
Oh, absolutely. John Sally.
Just a disgusting place to start. And I know the rest is just going to be pecan pie.
Robert Horry.
Yeah.
LeBron James.
Yeah.
And Danny Green.
Clean it up. Dude, I had a delectable piece of pecan pie yesterday. Did you indulge in any desserts?
I had a delectable piece of pumpkin pie, and by that I mean 2 pieces of pumpkin pie.
Oh, yeah.
We had a pecan pie there. I didn't dabble.
There's nothing better, man. I swear. Like,
I'm just not going to put nuts in my mouth.
I love them. I love some nuts in my mouth, man.
No, I don't blame you. Okay. Logan, I really like this question. You're mentioning Thanksgiving dinner, and I think we all feel like these guys after Thanksgiving, if you know what I mean, when you stuff yourself with some pecan pie. Can you name the 5 heaviest 1,000-yard rushers in the last 40 years of NFL history?
What a fantastic question. Is the bust Jerome Bettis here?
He's number 4.
Okay, let's get this is an awesome question, the big boys. The Nigerian Nightmare, is Christian Okoye here?
He's number 3. 253 pounds of
I don't know if
steel.
Oh, Brandon Jacobs.
Number 1, 264, Logan.
That dude was a tank.
Yeah.
I don't know if he ever ran for 1,000. Is A-Train Mike Allstott here?
Allstott did not ever run for 1,000. And not to be anti-fullback, but I was kind of trying to limit the fullbacks on this list with that.
Peyton Hillis here, former fullback, turned running back.
Ooh, he is not far off. He was 240. You have to be 250 to be on the list.
250.
250.
Oh, what about Stephen Davis?
Ooh.
Stephen Davis, I feel like, was about 245, 246.
Stephen Davis. Logan, I might have to break some hard news to you. He was 230.
Okay. Maybe he got bigger when later in his career, but...
Could have been.
Damn, Did Mike Tolbert ever go for a band?
Mike Tolbert at 375 pounds did not ever go for 1,000 yards in a season.
Bowling ball.
That dude was so big.
Derrick
Henry. Listed him at 243. What a joke. If you can believe it, Logan, Derrick Henry is tied for second off this list, listed at 247.
I feel like they're lying. I feel like it's like a Big Ben situation.
Totally could be.
Or they're like, Ben's playing at 240, and he's like, Ben was 240 his rookie year, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's the thing. Derrick Henry has, according to this, weighed 247 his entire career.
Although, you know, they always do say on the broadcast that he's eating leaner, so maybe that's about right.
He's just such a unit. I mean, there's no fat on him. He's just 6'4" and insanely jacked. Massive human being.
Do we have any repeat teams on this list from guys I've already named?
No, you do not.
Okay.
You have one guy back in 1995. I like that this guy's on the list. He's kind of fun. And then you have a guy who I think is very, very appropriately on this list.
Eddie Lacy.
Yeah, I was going to say, arguably his legacy. Eddie Lacy is here. He was 250. Last guy is the father of an NFL family. He's the patriarch. An NFL family you know and love. Pretty fun that he's on here, in my opinion.
It's not I mean, I doubt he played long enough. It's not Ironhead Hayward, right?
It's Ironhead Hayward.
Really?
He had 1,000-yard season at 260, and he's number 2.
Let's go, man.
Yeah, shout out to the big boys.
That's a great question.
Getting some holiday shopping done this weekend? Pick up some touchdowns. They're on sale at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. What else would you expect from the #1 place to bet touchdowns?
DraftKings has doorbuster profit boots and bet one, get one promotions on all types of touchdown bets. Be sure to check the DraftKings Sportsbook app all weekend for flash deals that will have you dancing in the end zone.
Grab some TDs with DraftKings Sportsbook. They're on sale from Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code NERDS to opt in. That's code NERDS only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Can you name the top 10 scoring teammates of Chris Paul's career?
This is based on their time with him?
No, this is
these are the highest scoring players he's ever
leaderboard.
played with. Okay. Yeah, absolutely I can. Let me get Steph Curry.
Steph is number 5.
That's crazy low.
Right.
Let me get James Harden.
Number 4.
Let me get Kevin Durant.
He is number 1.
Yeah. Let me get so many years to go through here. I don't know. Does Peja get on this list?
Peja doesn't.
Okay.
Dude,
Does David West get on this list?
He doesn't. And there's a lot of sneaky guys that
Yeah.
there's some guys he played like 8 games with, 10 games with.
So I don't think that Blake honestly gets on this list.
Blake is the one that surprised me the most. Blake doesn't get on here.
It's tough. Does Clay get on here?
Clay is the
Okay.
last man on.
Crazy. Okay. So I'm thinking through the years. There's not going to be anybody on that OKC team. I don't think there's anybody in the Houston years other than Harden. Clippers years. Antoine Jameson will be on this list. They overlapped, right?
I don't believe Antoine Jameson is on this list.
Whoa.
Let me confirm unless my
Was Antoine? No, he was
No,
there. He should be on this list.
You might be right. I'm going to look at the
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think he should be on here. I think I missed him.
He should be. Okay. But I guess all that does is bump Clay off, so that doesn't help
That is
me.
going to bump Clay off. That's exactly what happens. Good pull.
Damn. Okay, I'm thinking about the Hornets years. Anybody who stopped by?
There's actually
for a cup of
none, man.
coffee.
I think the
Okay.
most prevalent is LA, honestly.
Yeah.
And yeah, Anton only played 17 games with CP. You figured it would have
Yeah.
been more.
Well, no, he was kind of just there for a cup of coffee. He
Yeah.
was washed. He did his LA double duty with the Lakers and Clippers, and he was washed
You've
for
got
both.
One guy in Houston. You've got actually 2 guys in Houston. I mean, buckets. Don't get me wrong, buckets, but they were past their prime.
Well, okay, I haven't said Lou Will. Lou Will is here.
Lou Will's not on here.
Wow. Mello?
Melo, number 2.
Jamal Crawford?
Crawford is here. Crawford's number 8. One guy who did go to Houston, was there on a couple of 10 days, and then you've got 2 bench wings for the Clippers that briefly overlapped with CP. I want to say 2014 to 2016 kind of range.
I mean, we don't get Turkaloo here. He wouldn't have enough career
Better.
points.
Better.
Better than Turk?
I mean, one of these guys could have been one of the greatest players of all time if injuries hadn't derailed him. And then the other guy is a legend.
Okay, let me get Danny Granger. No, he doesn't have enough career points. I just think he played with the Clippers, but
There briefly, not Granger. No, this guy could do it all, man. Athlete,
double machine.
could shoot, handle the ball, rebound, play make.
And we're talking Clippers here?
Yeah, I mean, he's old. He's very, very old, though, like right at the end of his career.
Grant Hill, of course.
It's Grant Hill, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, 3 names to go, all older guys. One more legend off the bench for the Clippers, the guy on the 10-day in Houston. And then I didn't know that Chris Paul and this guy ever played together. And I'm going to guess it was in, 2012 to 2013. He played 42 games with Chris Paul off the bench for the Clippers. I did
right.
not know he had gone there.
Okay, I just got to think about dudes who pulled up to Lob City very late in their careers. It's not like Baron Davis.
Kind of right, like that era in age. This guy's more accomplished. I'd say a better all-time player than B. Diddy. Underrated, this guy, an underrated guard. After 2013 with the Clippers, he would go back to the team he won a title with. And that's where he would retire.
Chauncey
Billups.
Oh, well, Paul Pierce will be here.
Yes. Paul
Totally
Pierce is on here, correct.
As a Clipper, yeah.
One to go. Like I said, this guy, a cup of coffee in Houston. Cup of coffee, real quick, in and out. And this guy, later, after spending a 10-day with Houston, we get a 10-day with the team that drafted him where he begun his career, where he would play his last handful of games at like the age of 41. Bucket. I mean, dude, this is just a comical end where he went to Utah for a 10-day. I think he went to Houston.
Joe Johnson.
It's Joe Johnson, correct.
Yeah. That's right. All right. Very interesting list. Kind of a crazy list. Logan, we're going to go back to the big dogs. Can you name me the 6 number 1 overall picks who had a passer rating of over 80 as a rookie?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that this list is so short.
Mm-hmm. It's a harder bar to hit than you would think.
Troy Aikman.
Not Aikman.
Drew Bledsoe.
Not Bledsoe. I'm going to advise you to look more modern.
Yeah, that's right, too. I mean, era definitely plays a part in this.
Yeah.
Just harder to do.
It's hard to do back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be real. Cam Newton.
Cam is here at number 5.
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck is number 8. He's just off.
Baker.
Baker is number 1 at 93.7. Shout out to the quirked up white boy himself.
K1.
K1, number 3.
Are we counting Caleb right now?
We are counting Caleb right now. He's number 4, 86.1.
I mean, hell, dude, I got to think the other one's going to be really recent, too. It's not going to be Bryce. It's not going to be Trevor. Trayvon goes number 1 in 22.
Yes. Working your way to the answer, I see.
And then 2020, it's not Burrow, right? I mean, Burrow had he
It
played
is Burrow.
Like 5 games?
No, he played 10 games. Played 10 games, had a passer rating of 89.8. And you're just missing number 6, 84.2. Not somebody you would maybe think of as a passer rating guy. In fact, his career passer rating is probably right around 84. If I had to guess.
Vinny?
Not Vinny. This guy's a lot in common with Vinny, though.
Jameis?
Jameis Winston is here.
I skipped right over Jameis because I was like, there's no shot he did.
I don't blame you. No, the man loves to throw a pick, but that year he was over 4,000 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, 15 picks, 7.6 yards per attempt. 84 passer rating really isn't that good, but for a rookie it is.
That's crazy. That's actually crazy. No, that's a good mark. I'm really surprised at that, actually.
Don't sleep on Jameis.
You're going to have to get deep in the bag here, Carson. I'm not going to lie to you, my friend.
Okay, all right. I love a challenge.
Can you name every top 5 pick post-2000 that failed to average 5 or more points per game for their career?
Yeah, I can absolutely try. So I think that Kwame Brown is going to be here.
Kwame's not.
He's clear of 5 points per game. However, Anthony Bennett will be here.
Anthony Bennett is the most modern player on this list.
Is Marcus Pfizer on this list?
Wow, Mr. Pfizer is not. That is a good guess. He averaged 9.6 for his career.
Okay.
Mr. Kwame, 6.6. So good guesses.
I mean, I'm just going to think about the premium busts. What about Stromile Swift? What about Darius Miles? Yeah, I thought they were both going to be too high.
Dude,
all right, but Darko will be here. He's a straight-up bum. What?
Yeah, right? Dude,
all
I mean, this is
Dragan Bender will be here.
Bro, he's not here either.
Dragan Bender's over 5 points per game?
Yes.
I don't even understand how that's possible.
5.4. I mean, he's scraping by.
What about Sheldon Williams?
Now you're on it. Now you're on one. Sheldon, the second furthest back on this list.
Jay Williams is going to be over. It's just his career was
I think all of these
abbreviated.
guys too played the same position. I want to say
All of them played the same position?
kind of the same archetype. Yeah.
Wow. Well, Exum's over 5 points per game. I'm just thinking about dudes who really could not play. Wiseman's easily over 5. No, MKG's going to have too many.
Mm-hmm.
Zeller, does he have too many?
Bottom of the barrel. There's one guy that makes a whole lot of sense. And
Thomas Robinson?
Wow, not the guy I
Okay.
was talking about there, but yes, Thomas Robinson is an answer. You have 2 names left. One of them is an
Okay.
all-time bust. I will give you that.
Oh, Hashim Thabit. Duh. Why did I not guess him sooner?
One more, it is another all-time bust, Carson.
Just going through all the years. Is it Hazonia? No, you wouldn't describe him as an all-time bust. And I think we're looking for bigs here based on the fact you said they play the same position. It's not Skidishvili.
Hmm?
Is it Skidishvili?
That's exactly who it is.
Damn, I've been thinking about him forever. Shout out
Yeah,
to Nikolaj. Yeah, damn. So Adam Morrison is over 5 points per game. There's a lot of busts, dude.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of busts. Okay, wow. Very interesting list. Very fun list. I always enjoy thinking about the biggest failures in franchises' histories. Logan, we're not going to talk about the guys who just flat out couldn't cut it. We're going to talk about the guys who came the closest, but ultimately didn't get the biggest individual award in the Super Bowl era. Can you name me every player to be a multiple-time MVP runner-up, but never win the award?
Awesome question. What's the parameters? What's the years?
Multiple times since the Super Bowl era began. Multiple-time runner-up, never won MVP.
I got to think Drew Brees, obviously.
Yeah, Drew Brees 4 times, 2006, 2009, 2011, 2018. The Jerry West of the NFL, sadly. Poor guy.
I think he was a one-time MVP, but I'll rip him. It's Barry Sanders was an MVP, correct?
Barry Sanders, correct. Co-MVP with Brett Favre in 97. But he was also a multiple-time runner-up on
Jerry
top
Rice.
of that, I believe. Jerry Rice, 87 and 96.
Yeah, I think he deserved it. Kind of one of those years. I think '87 it's such an insane year.
That's Elway's MVP, yeah. Let's compare cases.
Eric Dickerson.
Eric Dickerson, Logan, you're cooking. 3 times runner-up, 83, 84, and 86.
Because I think a lot of people would look to quarterbacks when I think that running backs and wide receivers might be just as prevalent just because they never give it to them.
Dude, they should have given this to Jerry.
That's what I'm saying.
12 games, he had 1078 and 22 touchdowns. Elway had 3198. Well, he also played 12 games. That's kind of crazy. 19 touchdowns, 12 picks, 304 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns.
Sweetness
give it
was
to
league
Jerry.
MVP, correct?
Sweetness was an
77.
MVP. Sweetness was an MVP, yep.
I think he was a one-time runner-up, but I will rip him. Randy Moss.
Not Randy. It's interesting that you say Randy Moss.
Do you guess Dante Culpepper?
Nope. Randy was 4th in 1998.
Interesting that I say Randy.
I was interested by it. I was intrigued.
It's not Chris Carter, right?
No.
What about Derrick Henry?
No, not Derrick Henry.
What about Terrell Davis?
No, neither one. Well, Terrell Davis did win MVP.
Oh, good. Yeah, he deserved it. I'm just so used to this always being a quarterback award every single year.
Yeah. Derrick Henry has never been runner-up, though.
I thought 2020.
I believe
I thought he deserved it. Oh, is Josh Allen here?
Josh Allen only once so far.
Crazy. That's kind of crazy.
Derrick Henry's best finish. Is that real? 9th in 2022? Because I guess he didn't get a single first-place vote in 2020, and they used to only put you on the ballot if you got a first-place vote.
I don't know where you're trying to get me to go with the Randy. Terrell Owens?
No. It's really interesting to me that you went the directions you did before going to this guy.
Not Megatron, right?
No. You're going much farther away than you need to. Randy was 4th in MVP voting in 1998. I feel like I'm going to activate you like a sleeper agent if I say that phrase enough. Randy was 4th in MVP voting in 1998.
Randall Cunningham?
Randall Cunningham.
What?
Thrice, Logan. Thrice he was MVP runner-up. 1988, 1990, 1998.
You learn something new every day. That is fascinating. That is fascinating.
The George Gervin of the NFL. Yeah, Cunningham, I mean, he's got some crazy seasons in here, dude. 98 was a crazy season. 34 touchdowns, 10 picks.
His renaissance.
But he wasn't really running it as much at that point.
Oh, no, he was straight Aaron, dropping back.
Yeah. Okay, and then you just have one more. Speaking of dropping back and airing it out, that applies to this guy, and he is...
Warren Moon?
Not Warren Moon. This is the furthest back answer on the list.
Staubach.
Not Staubach.
Who would...
This guy was airing it out.
Dan Fouts.
Dan Fouts, 79 and 82. And that's the list.
Interesting. I'm glad that you went positive because I'm going to stick negative with this one, man. Can you name every lottery pick post-2000 that failed to play at least 82 career games a full season?
Holy shit.
This is a list of 8 names, and I will say we're not including guys from the 24 or 23 class just because they're removed, but we will include names 22 and before.
Yaroslav Korolev has got to be here.
Yes. Yes, dude. He is on here. That is a great poll.
Holy shit.
This is the
Royce White was just outside the lottery, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And Zaire Smith was just outside the lottery. I'm just thinking about some dudes who, like, basically did not play.
Royce White. Royce White was 16th.
16th, I think. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. This is a tough one. Not even 82 games. Did Jay Williams get 82 games in his career?
He's here.
No, that sucks. Okay. Anthony Bennett got 82 games in his career, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
It could not have been by much, but
no. Hazonia got 82 games.
Bennett got 151.
Mm-hmm. Dragan Bender, Marquise Chris, those guys both got 82 games pretty easily, honestly.
You only have 3 guys post-2010. One just flat out sucked. 2 of these guys weren't that good, but also had some off-the-court stuff.
Is Jan Vesely here?
No.
Okay.
Even Jan Vesely, man.
Good for him, dude.
Jan Vesely, 162.
Okay, these guys also had some off-the-court stuff.
One of them, I believe, has been signed to like a G League team since, and then the other, I think, is still floating in basketball purgatory. A friend of the show, Peyton T. Gallagher, loved one of these guys. Yeah, then there's just one big man that absolutely sucked, Carson. I think this team, the night that they drafted him, also drafted 2 other big men that same night very highly.
Did Greg Oden get to 82 career games?
Oden did, yeah.
Yeah, he got to 100 and something.
Oden, 105.
Okay. I'm thinking post-2010. Dudes who, for whatever reason, just couldn't even stay on the floor. And Peyton really liked one of them. So that makes me think like 2020.
I would say they were an inefficient archetype. Maybe not the most archetype most conducive to winning.
Is James Bouknight here? Are we counting him?
Bouknight is here.
He's not in the last couple classes.
And there's another gentleman here. He's one of the youngest guys drafted, I think, ever at the time.
Johnny Davis isn't here, is he?
Not Johnny Davis. Although, has Johnny Davis played 5 career games?
One of the youngest guys drafted.
Wow, Davis has played 91 games.
Good for him. Good for
With
him.
a true shooting percentage of 46%.
That's
yeah.
beautiful.
Under 5 points per game. Shout out you, Johnny Davis. Another guy with some off-the-court stuff. In the building, but off the court, unfortunately. Carson, he is a pervert.
Oh, Josh Primo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Primo's here. Those are two of the three guys post 2010. Three names pre-2010, one name post.
Okay, and the one name post is just a big man who sucked.
Foreign big man who just sucked, dude. And there's a reason
All right.
that...
Georges Papianis.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, sure enough, he could not cut it in the league. It's really crazy when you use a lottery pick on somebody and they barely play in
It
the
is,
NBA.
man.
Okay.
So, a guy who got drafted 10th overall in 04. You've got 8th overall in 08.
Oh, my God, Joe Alexander.
You're the man, dude. Yes.
Of course.
Yes, Joe Alexander. Great
West
pull.
Virginia legend. This is just hard when you're just like trying to pull it out of the universe. But if I get a year, I can think of these guys.
10th overall in 06.
Ooh. No, I don't think he's here. Patrick O'Brien cleared 82 career games, yeah?
He did, yeah.
10th overall in 06. Position, by any chance?
Center. A foreign name. You can say it really quickly. It's like 6 letters. Well, if you say the abbreviated version of his first name. He's got a religious first name.
Jesus.
He's a prophet.
Muhammad.
Yeah, you're cooking, bro.
It's not Mohamed Sane, is it?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Good pull,
Yeah.
dude. 47 career games for that guy. And this guy has the whitest name ever. Whitest name ever.
Oh, no. It's not Luke Jackson.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it
Carson.
is?
It's Luke Jackson.
Because when you said 2004 10th pick, Oregon legend Luke Jackson came to my mind. He was very white. But then I also thought the other Luke Jackson in NBA history is actually Lucius Jackson, of course, legend with the 67 Sixers, the 60s Sixers. And he was not white. So I doubted myself for a second. But yeah, okay. Thank you for giving me some years there. That helped, but that's a super fun question. All right, Logan. We're going to stay on theme because, I don't know, I got very interested in looking at MVP voting. Can you name me quarterbacks since 2000 who were MVP runner-ups but never won MVP or have never won MVP?
They don't want to tell you that Chad Pennington was runner-up in 2008.
They don't want you to know, but he is on this list because I want you to know because I speak truth to power.
So can I ask a clarifying question?
No.
If they won an MVP prior to 2000, does that count?
Good question. Good clarifying question. I am not counting those players. For example, Brett Favre would be on this list if that were the case, but I'm not counting him.
If they won an MVP, they're disqualified?
Correct.
That makes sense. So just since 2000, I mean, I don't know. Deshaun Watson.
No, Deshaun Watson never MVP runner-up. Praise God.
They only won 4 games that year, so that's good. What about Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson never MVP runner-up, if you can believe it.
Josh Allen will be here.
2020.
Dante Culpepper.
Culpepper actually didn't get runner-up.
He had some great years, like 02, 03.
Mm-hmm. Well, 04 was his big year. And interestingly, there's actually another person from that year on this list.
Is it?
I can't believe Culpepper was an MVP runner-up this season. I think this dude got the nod because he was more fun, exciting at the time.
Michael Vick?
Yeah, Michael Vick, 2004.
Yeah, his numbers don't really corroborate that in my opinion, but...
Also, Culpepper was just amazing that year. Culpepper had 4,700 yards, 39 touchdowns, 11 picks in 2004.
Absurd.
Come on.
Those are, modern numbers.
He was Offensive Player of the Year runner-up as a quarterback. I guess Peyton probably won it. Yeah, Peyton won MVP and Offensive Player of the Year that year.
Dak Prescott?
Yeah, Dak is correct. Last year should have been Josh as runner-up again, but okay.
I agree.
Also, by the way, you haven't gotten the most obvious answer who you got off rip for the last question.
Drew Brees.
4 times.
Yeah. He had poster boy for this question.
Yeah,
Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz actually finished 3rd, but that's so interesting that you went there.
McNabb?
McNabb 2000.
Wow.
And
Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts in 2022 was runner-up, Logan.
I mean, I got to give.
He had a great season.
Jalen did, but in that
He had
playoff
a
run.
great season. Oh, yeah. Super Bowl was
Hurts was
all-time
awesome.
performance and a loss. Yeah. And that's your list?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah, dude.
No, but hell yeah.
We're going to turn it around. We're going to go a little more positive here.
Thank God.
From bottom of the barrel first-round picks who didn't pan out to projects that did turn out. Carson, can you name every second-round pick that averaged 15 points per game for their career post-2000? So, drafted post-2000.
Okay, gotcha. That's really fun. So, damn. Does Isaiah Thomas end up over 15 points? He does.
He's actually fifth on this list, 17.5.
Okay, good for him. Monte Ellis? He's got to be over 15.
Number 4.
Yeah. Is Dragic over 15 in his career?
Wow, Dragic is 1.7 points short.
Okay. Middleton's definitely over 15.
He is. He's number 7.
All right. Let's think about...
And there's 11 names on this list.
Jokic is obviously over 15.
He's number 1.
Yes, he is. I mean, I'm thinking about some of the dudes to make the All-Star team. Marc Gasol is not going to be over 15. Draymond obviously is not even close to 15. Manu was drafted before 2000. I want to think about All-Stars in recent seasons. Who are some dudes? Or I guess you might not even have to be an All-Star to get in buckets like that. Like, nah. Is Jordan Clarkson on this list?
You better believe it, dude. Clarkson is number 9.
He lives to do one thing in this world, man, and that is get up shots.
One guy I'm surprised you have not. 2 guys, actually, I'm surprised you have not ripped yet.
Okay.
Famous second-round picks, bucket getters.
Lou Will.
Lou Will is actually 16th. He's 13.9.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 6 names to go. 2 of them are in a different, stature.
No Chill Gill is over 15 for his career, definitely.
He's over 20. He's number 2. Another guy who struggled to stay healthy, but at his apex was a monster. You've had an active guy here as well. 2 active guys, actually. 3. I can't count. You got 3 active guys.
Jalen Brunson will be here.
Kaboom.
Active second rounders.
Those guys were not all-stars. The other 2 all-stars remaining are not active.
All right, but nevertheless,
one of them was
too tough.
One of them was rookie of the year, though.
Brogdon's not at 15 points per game in his career, is he? Wow.
15.4.
Wow, how about that? Okay, and we got one more active guy.
Yeah, I think he's in Brooklyn.
You don't even know where he is?
I don't know if this guy... I mean, I was excited. He got traded last year. I thought he was going to be a key member of a playoff rotation. He just hasn't been healthy. Yeah, he's in Brooklyn, but I don't think he's played this year.
Oh, is it Bojan?
Yeah, it's Bojan.
Yeah.
Has not played this year. He is still rehabbing. So 2 All-Stars are the only ones that are remaining. One of these guys definitely more of a bucket getter. The other, a little bit more of a garbage man type. Definitely more rebounding defense, but he could score.
Boozer?
It's Carlos Boozer.
Yeah. Okay, we got one more second rounder.
Bucket. I was really surprised when you were going through Jokic and Arenas. This is normally the 3rd guy that kind of goes hand in hand with those guys. They're the only 3 second-round picks since 2000 over 19 a night. Drafted in 2000. Probably the best player in that class. I would go out on a limb, and I think I'd say it.
Michael Redd.
It is Michael Redd. That's a list.
Wow. Shout out Michael Redd. Always an underrated bucket. All right, Logan. We're going to get a little speed run for this question, okay? We're sticking with our theme, but we're going to do an odd man out. I need you to tell me which of the following players, and there's only one, never received a single MVP vote. Was it Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, Carson Palmer, or Derek Carr, who never received a single MVP vote?
So all of these guys did it except one?
Correct.
I'm going to rule out Carr. I believe Carr has received an MVP vote, which leaves us Big Ben, Rivers, and Carson Palmer.
Correct.
I'm going to think Carson Palmer got one. I'm gonna just guess Big Ben. I'm going to say Big Ben never got an MVP vote.
That's exactly right, Logan. He never did. All of the other guys, I believe, finished third in at least one season, but Big Ben never on the ballot. How about that? And I'm not trying to make any sort of statement with that.
No. That's why I say I think it's important that when you're going through and like looking back and like if you were gonna base an argument off of something like that, it's really subjective,
Well, NFL MVP voting is super weird because first of all, the way they used to do it is it only mattered if you got a first place vote. So like you might just have a regional guy or you just have one guy who feels really strongly about your case and that can sort of skew it. And also it's like you just have more weird NFL MVPs. Because it's a 17-game season, it's very rare that you get an 82-game season MVP in the NBA, and it's a guy who's of like a Rich Gannon caliber. Like that stuff doesn't happen. Whereas there's a dozen of those guys throughout NFL history. Like Matt Ryan had an awesome season, but you don't even get like Matt Ryan MVPs in the NBA.
Yeah,
so
I mean
just
Brian
weird,
Sipe, Boomer, Mark.
Oh my God, you go
Mosley,
back and there's all sorts of John Brody, one of my favorites. Even Boomer, right? That's a really weird one. Even Ken Anderson, not to just hate on the Bengals, but they've got weird ones. There's a lot of weird NFL MVPs.
17 games, they all matter a little bit more.
Need a break from the crowded stores and endless gift lists? Restore your zen and embrace the natural power of hemp this holiday season with Via. This holiday season, unwind and recharge with Via. Whether you're enjoying a quiet evening at home or embracing the festive cheer, Via's premium THC and THC-free gummies will help you find your perfect holiday balance.
Via is well renowned for their award-winning THC and THC-free gummies and vapes, THCA flower, soothing topicals, and calming drops, all crafted with the highest quality hemp sourced from trusted, independently owned American farms. And the best part, Via legally ships to nearly all states in the U.S. in discreet packaging directly to your door with a worry-free guarantee, no medical card required. And right now, Via is having a huge holiday sale. For a limited time, you can save up to 25% off site-wide, plus up to 50% off select items and bundles. And if you're hearing this ad post-sale, you can still save by using code NERDSESH for 15% off. So if you're 21 plus, check out our link to Via's website in the description.
I really do love Via. Cloud9 is personally my favorite of the gummies. It relaxes me. I always have a good evening when I take it, and the gummies legitimately taste really good. So whatever you're looking for, they've got a ton of variety, zero THC products up to 100 milligrams of THC, and they're affordable. So this holiday season, give yourself some peace of mind. If you're 21 plus, check out the link to Via in our description. For a limited time during the holidays, Via is offering 25% off site-wide, plus up to 50% off select items and bundle. And if you're hearing this ad post-sale, you can still save by using code NERDSESH for 15% off. After you purchase, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. This holiday season, enhance your everyday with Via.
Carson, I think that is all my draft questions for you today. I've got two more.
Okay.
Very simple. Can you name every multiple-time single-season leader in three-pointers made? This is going back to when the three-point line was invented.
This is fun. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Steph Curry is here.
Steph's done it just a calm 8 times.
Yeah, did we get Jimmy Harden here?
Harden has done it 3. You have one more 3-time guy, and then everybody else is 2.
Okay, well, Clay has done it once. We have one more 3-time guy. I don't think Dame gets enough in there between all the Harden and Steph years. I'm going to look further back. Ray Allen has certainly done it 3 times.
Ray is the last 3-time guy.
Did Reggie do it twice?
Reggie did it twice. Yep. You have 4 more names.
4 more names.
It's an interesting cast of characters, and it's also funny just too because guys at the front end of this who did it twice are doing it with like 93s.
Yeah. Ooh. What about Dennis Scott?
Ooh, I like Dennis. I like the Dennis Scott shout. He did it once, a whopping 267.
267.
That record would hold until 2006 when Ray Allen shattered it.
One of the early all-time great three-point shooting seasons. Yeah, When we go a little further back, it definitely gets weirder. No, I'm thinking Craig Hodges is like the early dude who had a 3-point contest dynasty, but he wasn't taking enough in-game.
There's two guys in a 4-year period who both did it back-to-back years with under 100 threes made.
Did we get Mark Price here by any chance?
Not Mark Price. You do have a Caucasian. Better than Mark Price.
A Caucasian better than Mark Price?
If you can
Those
believe
don't
it.
exist.
If you can believe it. He might be the GOAT Caucasian. He might be the GOAT.
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird is here. And yeah, you got a guy that did it.
Him. Do we have another white, Jeff Hornacek?
That is all the whites on the list.
Okay. All right. Noted.
3 guys to go. One of them, multiple-time NBA champ.
Did I ever say Tim Hardaway, or did I just think Tim Hardaway?
It's not Tim Hardaway. And then, Carson, you have a little man with a legendary single season.
A little man with a legendary single season.
I say legendary a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but the raw numbers are kind of ridiculous, man. The raw numbers are insane. We talk about this a lot.
That's not World Be Free. He's too early.
No, World Be Free. This dude, I'm going to hold off. I don't want
Michael Adams.
Michael Adams, 25 points.
Way ahead of his time with the 3-point volume.
10 assists, under 40% from the field. He did it twice, though. So you just got 2 names to go.
We don't get Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf here, even though he was taking a lot of threes. He actually wasn't taking a crazy amount of threes.
You have one guy, Carson, who I think more of is a dunker instead of a 3-point shooter, but he led the NBA in it twice.
Jason Richardson?
Not Jay Rich. He did lead it once. That's a good guess.
Yeah.
This guy led the league
as a dunker.
He led the league in 3-point percentage one year at 36%.
Oh. Oh, yeah, we're talking way back.
Did it in 84 and 85. Taking 3 threes a night.
Dr. Duncanstein?
It is. It's Darrell Griffith.
Wow.
That's correct.
Yeah, this is where it gets weird. The 80s. It almost
Last
doesn't
guy
even
did
matter.
it. Multiple-time NBA champ. Did this in 91 and 92.
Multiple-time NBA champ. Okay. Is it Kenny Smith?
You've identified the franchise.
Have I now? Is it Vernon Maxwell?
It is Vernon Maxwell, and that's the list.
All right, Logan, here's what I need you to answer, and I need you to answer this fast. Out of the top 25 active career rushing leaders, the top 25 active players with the most career rushing yards, 6 of them have averaged more than 5 yards per carry in their career. Can you name them?
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry actually 4.8. He has the 8th best yards per carry of the top 25.
Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, my God, 4.9. He's 7th. First 2 guys off rip.
Nick Chubb.
Yes, number 4, 5.1. I just got a case of the chills.
Jameer Gibbs.
So I shimmied. That's a good
thought.
He just doesn't have enough yardage. But, I mean, he's 5.6 yards per carry, which is
David
insane.
Montgomery.
Ooh, Monty. No, he is 22nd out of the top 25, 4.1 yards
James
per carry.
Cook.
James Cook is not in the top 25.
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs.
Well, last year probably
no.
tanked. Yeah, last year probably tanked Jacobs.
Yeah, he's at 4.3.
I know he would be here if he met the minimum requirement. I'm going to guess he doesn't. J.K. Dobbins.
Not Dobbins. Yeah, it's a great point, but he does not have the career rushing yards. To put things into perspective, you need to have more than 3,600 yards to be on this list in your career.
James Conner.
Not James Conner. He is at 4.3.
McCaffrey?
Oh, 4.7. Very close.
All right, my next guess is going to be Saquon Barkley.
Saquad. Not here, unfortunately. That Giants offensive line dragged him down. He is at 4.6, though.
What about Lamar Jackson?
There we go. Number 1. I was waiting for you to find the key.
Josh Allen.
Number 2.
Justin Fields.
Not Fields. He doesn't have enough yards. There's only one more quarterback on this list.
And this is a weird guess. This is not a key. Tony Pollard.
Not Tony Pollard. Let's see. Pollard, 4.7, dude. Good guesses.
What about Bijan Robinson?
Bijan doesn't have enough yardage. You got to think, 3,600 yards.
And there's one more quarterback. Jalen Hurts.
Oh, not Hurts. He is brought down by all the tush pushes.
Is it Russell Wilson?
Yeah, Russell Wilson, number 3.
Whoa.
So now you just have 2 running backs left, 5 and 6. You have an underratedly good guy who's been good for a long time now, especially in running backs years. He's got 108 career games played. And then another guy who is a speedster and has had some very high highs, hasn't consistently been super healthy. Last year was easily his best year. But he's explosive, this guy. You get him in the right system.
Mostert.
Raheem Mostert.
And one guy who's been consistently productive for a long time.
Epitome of consistency. Changed teams this offseason, but
Aaron Jones?
still doing his thing. Aaron Jones, Logan.
That's kind of crazy.
He's at 5 yards per carry with almost 1,400 career rushing attempts. Stud. And that's the list.
All right. From the pinnacle of running backs, Carson, to the pinnacle of the NBA, that's the Finals MVP award, the best player on the best team. Can you name the only 2 players to win Finals MVP with a true shooting percentage under 50%?
Tim Duncan in 2005.
Yeah. Just light work.
And let's think about other brutally inefficient Finals MVP winners. I mean, part of me wants to say Kobe in 2010, but I don't think it's Kobe in 2010.
Kobe's 09 and 2010 campaigns are both in the top 10 for least efficient by a Finals MVP, but he is not here.
Yeah.
The Tim Duncan one really surprised me. That one shocked me.
It was a rock fight of a series. He was very inefficient. Manu was amazing in that series. I think there's a legitimate case that Finals MVP should have been Manu's because it was just such brutal offensive circumstances, and he was still doing his thing and being efficient and producing with good volume too. Okay.
Do you think
who's the other one here?
You think you'd rather have Clay or Manu all time?
Ooh, wow. That's a really good question.
And maybe it depends on the team that you're constructing, with the guys that you already have in place.
I think it does depend on the team. Oh, that's such a good question, dude. I'm honestly really having a hard time with that. And I don't want my view of Clay to be soured by the post-injury years, which have been significantly rougher, and when he's taken a big step back defensively, because Clay was such an amazing perimeter defender in his prime. Manu can do a lot more with the ball in his hands. Manu is maybe the greatest passing shooting guard ever, and an awesome shooter, and such an effective driver, and a good defender. But Clay, at his peak, was an elite perimeter defender and a top 2 3-point shooter ever. This is so hard. I mean, I prefer Manu as a basketball player, so part of me wants to take him.
I think in a vacuum, like if I was starting a team, I think I'd probably rather have Manu, but
I tend to agree. I also think Clay was put in the best situation possible for him, in the best system he could have been in, playing alongside the best superstar he could have been put alongside in an ideal role as a second option. Whereas I think that Manu just had such a diverse skill set that he would have killed it anywhere. So I think I very slightly lean Manu, but that is really, really close. That's honestly a phenomenal question.
Yeah,
unfortunately, it distracted me from my objective.
Yeah, so another Finals MVP under 50% true shooting.
Yeah,
this one makes a little more sense in my opinion.
Okay, I'm just going through all the recent years, and I don't think it's anybody in any of the recent years. So we're going to go further back. You know who was kind of inefficient in a Finals MVP performance was Jordan in '96, but he's not going to be here. But he struggled in the second half of that series. Going back. Oh, wait, this is post-merger or this is all time?
All time.
Okay, so we're going all the way back to 1969, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going through year by year. What calls out to me? I don't know. I don't think it's Willis Reed. I'm thinking about the years before the merger. Okay, well, you seem to want me to be thinking about that.
I do, very much so, very much so.
All right. Well, I'm just going to think. Is it Hondo?
It's Hondo, dude.
Yeah.
Well done, man. Well done.
That makes sense. Hondo was never super efficient, and obviously efficiency all around was much lower back then. All right, Logan. Well, it's the last question for you, so I'm going to put the pressure on you because why the hell not? Only one duo in NFL history has seen each member of the duo score 10 or more rushing touchdowns in multiple seasons together. Can you name them? I'm only going to give you 3 strikes here. So just to be clear, just to restate the question for everybody, teammates who together each had 10-plus rushing touchdowns in multiple seasons, it's only been done by one duo ever. And Logan has 3 strikes, or else he is dropped into a pit of cock and ball torture devices.
Yeah, I might miss this question
all right, buddy. Okay, the pit's not real.
Aw.
I'm sorry. What's a pit that would be more off-putting to you?
You said I have 3 guesses?
A pit full of Phillip Rivers and his children. Okay, and that is real. That's right below you at this very moment. I pulled the lever, and you're dropped in there going, doggone over and over and over again.
To be clear, both the quarterback and the running back had to do it.
Who the hell said anything about quarterback and a running back? That's not part of the deal. It could be, but that's not specifically part of the deal. It's 2 teammates who both had 10 or more rushing touchdowns in multiple seasons together.
To clue you guys in on some of my thoughts right now.
Oh, also in the pit, Dick Cheney thinks that you're a quail. Yeah. I know.
Honestly, I think a little bit
and
about
Martha
D'Angelo.
Stewart is giving you stock advice.
Oh, hey, man. I can go make some bread.
Well, then you go to prison.
D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart, I think about when we're thinking about running back duos. I think about Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw as well, 2 big goal line backs. Gibby and Monty might be here one day, if they're not already. But I was thinking quarterback, running back, is there just would be a little more balance, and it would probably make sense. I mean, you've got, I don't know if it would have been Cunningham and Keith Byers, Vic and Warwick Dunn. But I don't think Vic had, I think Vic had 1 year maybe that he was over rushing touchdowns. I don't think he would have done it multiple years. You got Cordell and Buss. But again, Cordell's peak at the top is really short. All right, I've got 3 cracks at this. My first guess. My first guess is going to be Josh Allen and James Cook.
Incorrect.
Are they close?
I'm not sure that James Cook has had 10 rushing touchdowns. Well, actually, he has it this year. But he only had 2 last year. Wow. But Josh does not yet have 10 rushing touchdowns this year. He has 5.
I mean, you've got Hurts, who's done it the last 3 years. It could be, but the running backs change. So, Swift, and then it's Saquon. Hurts and Swift is interesting. I can't remember if Swift was there multiple years or not.
I just want to let the people at Pro Football Reference know that you are currently shortchanging Josh Allen by 1 passing touchdown this season. Please have that fixed whenever possible. Thank you.
My second guess, think Eli threw too many TDs. I was gonna guess the Giants, guys. I'm not. My second guess is gonna be Cordell Stewart and Jerome Bettis.
Incorrect. They never did it. I don't know if
I think Slash had 2 years exactly over 10. I know he had one at least.
Let's see. He had one. 1997, he had 11. Bettis that year had...
Cam Newton and Jonathan Stewart, final answer.
Unfortunately not correct, Logan. Actually, Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams did it together. You mentioned this duo.
Is it Jacobs?
You said maybe someday. The day is right now,
It's
Logan.
Gibby and
Jahmyr
Monty.
Gibbs and David Montgomery. Sonic and whatever, Knuckles. They've already done it, dude. In their first 2 seasons together, they have done what no other duo in NFL history has. And on that note, you lose. Happy Thanksgiving, loser.
I should have thought about the holiday relevancy, man.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy, though?
That's
one of my
ridiculous.
favorite duos. Definitely my favorite running back duo ever.
And
They're so fun. They're
complement
so
each other
different.
dude,
Exactly.
And I feel like Gibby's underrated explosive.
Gibby was on
like,
iCarly. Well, he
he's
was
explosive.
explosive. Yeah. No, he could move. I mean, he was a bigger guy, you know.
Yeah, dude. Why didn't they go with Gibby and Guppy? That should be their nickname. No,
Gibby
it's
and
not good enough.
Guppy. Now, that was a brother duo. Let me tell
That's
you
what I'm
something about
saying.
those guys. You get them on random dancing, oh, they could bust a move. All right, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. Happy Thanksgiving weekend. Fun to do a little bit of trivia on the pod. We haven't done this since summer. But if you want more of it, and if you didn't catch our episodes over summer, we had a bunch of guests on. We had our friends from Pick a Side. We had our friends from Stay Hot. We had our friends from Hive Mind. We had our friends from the Deep Three. We had our buddy OG. We had our friend Kofi on. We had all sorts of people on for trivia throughout the summer. We had Jason Timpf and Jovan Buha on. So I think that we got basically everybody there. But that was really fun. And, of course, we always have a bunch of trivia stuff on our TikTok, on our Instagram, at NerdSesh, Twitter, at Nerd_Sesh. So follow us across all those platforms if you want more. Check out our catalog, our backlog of shows on our YouTube channel, across all audio platforms, and, of course, all of our current NBA, NFL full shows, our video essays that we do. That's on our YouTube channel. Stay tuned in for that, and we will be back Sunday reacting to another full day of football. So, appreciate you guys. If you want to join our Discord, you can do so at the link tree across our social media bios. You can also check out our merch, a little Black Friday shopping. If you're in the holiday shopping mode, that is also linked in our link tree, and that is going to be at breakingtea.com. So with that, as always, appreciate you guys. Hope you had a wonderful holiday. I've been Carson Brabber.
I've been Logan Camden.
And this was Nerd Sesh.